Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Zero number 870AA adjustable head and jamb gasketing. This is a piece of high-performance weather stripping for a couple of reasons. Not only does it feature a sound-rated solid neoprene insert that will give you the ability to, but the profile of the Zero material is not generally, as a rule, well thought out. It's got this extra flap here, which is going to serve as a way to help compensate for, maybe a little bit. So with that flap, you're going to be looking to contend with the fact that you've got the seal, the bulb seal, like everybody else. But this flap is going to help reach. It's going to help mitigate a minor amount of inherent warp in a door. Not that the door is going to be inherently warped, but at a very small, fraction of an inch. Maybe a jamb that's, the jambs are not perfectly plumb. They're kicked in or out, or they're towed a little bit at the bottom. Okay, that flap helps reach and seal. You might have a situation that's significantly warped, that it's warped going, and that flap will help reach. It will also help mitigate the fact that you're dealing with most likely a door closer that needs to be able to get that door closed and latched. Increased surface area, multiple layers of contact with the door and the seal. Okay. Now, moving on to what is an 870. An 870, by the way, the AA stands for the clear anodized aluminum finish. Also available in the D finish for dark bronze anodized. Okay. You're going to be working with an item being an adjustable type weather strip, the 870. You're going to enjoy the ability to be able to tailor the projection of the seal via the screws that are here, and then, of course, run down the length of it by a 1/4 inch. So that's going to superbly allow you to really properly position the material onto the face of the frame, the stop of the frame, to give you the absolute ideal contact so that you are achieving a seal, not so much where it's causing bind or the door no longer latches properly. And the adjustable version of this, the adjustability of this version of Zero's perimeter gasketing makes it a high-end sort of solution when you're dealing with sealing something up. Now, this is a closed cell neoprene, which is going to make it ideal for exterior applications. And while it is sound seal rated, a closed cell neoprene versus an open cell is more ideal for sealing doors. A diver's wetsuit would be made out of closed cell neoprene, whereas material that's acoustically rated is made of open cell neoprene because of the air pockets. So this will give you the ability to really smartly close off that material, and in fact do so in such a way where it can be adjusted with time. Not something that you'll typically encounter in most installations. However, it is not unheard of that you might have an application where having the ability to adjust that seal over time, over a annual cycle, as seasons change, may be of a benefit, is where you might find that. Okay. This happens to be a 30-inch length, which is the header piece of a 2'6" by 7' door. So you'll be ordering it as a header and then your 2 jambs. If you have need for a custom length, I very strongly urge that you order it the length that you want. The reasoning is you get an awfully nice finish from the factory. Now, that might be a little difficult to actually come up with because as you put your jambs in, your header is going to have to go probably between there, and that's not really that elegant because inevitably you're going to have a little lapse of seal And that's why it's quite normal for the seal to be shipped quite longer than necessary. So you may not find it ideal for us to send it out at the right length. However, I think you want to be as close as possible. You really don't want to take, imagine if this was a 30-inch piece. You don't want to take a 36-inch piece. You don't want to take a 36-inch piece and cut it down to 30-inch because you're really going to have trouble with the location of the adjusting screws. You might also specifically want it sent long because you're going to miter the top intersection between the header and the jamb so that you have very nice coverage. Imagine if you were to cut all of this using a compound miter, you might be able to enjoy a perfect sort of solution. And in fact, if you're going to spend that much money per foot for weather stripping, it needs to perform properly, and a miter up at the top would be ideal. And in fact, if you're doing STC rated material, you will always find that material mitered in a proper installation. So keep that in mind as well. Another reason that this material is used is as a doorstop itself. You can use this material when you have a cased opening frame and need to add a stop. There's an image down below this video that shows the dimensional properties. It's 1/2 inch thick, and then the body itself is 7/8, plus that 1/4 inch worth of insert, and then that 1/4 inch adjustability that goes on top of it. So keep that in mind as a reason why you might find this an ideal piece of weather stripping. There is a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure that will allow you to review not only the 870AA, but the sister products that go along with it. And if you're looking for high-end adjustable perimeter gasketing, by all means familiarize yourself not only with that link to the product brochure, but likely the link to the full product catalog, which we'll get to in a moment. You're going to see some material that is exceptionally high performance, where you are not only given the ability to adjust, but you are isolating the transmission of material through this U-channel. Okay, and you can see such as the 870AA, where you've got neoprene on the interior of the outer housing that's going to retard the transmission of material coming out and around. You've even got the 770FS, where you're getting into quite specialized material that has an intumescent built into it, and that would be a very appropriate sort of material in the proper fire-rated applications. And then, of course, you get into the 170AA, and then that open, forgive me, that's closed cell neoprene as well. Don't see one that is open cell neoprene in this. Well, the closed cell neoprene versus solid neoprene is the difference. You're going to find acoustical attenuation most appropriate with their sponge type neoprene, which I think they're referring to as closed cell neoprene rather than solid neoprene. The 3709 AA is a specialty sort of item that's going to be very ideal for your sound rated installations. Whether you're doing an amateur sound studio or you're doing up to a professional recording studio where you know, the work is done in production of movies, whatnot. Finally, there's also a note on there, which or an item on there that reminds me. On page 2 of the product catalog, you'll see an offset Z bracket. That offset Z bracket allows you to, which is a mounting plate, that 770SPB, that is a mounting plate, a Z bracket, or a door closer bracket, that will allow you to install weather stripping and not interrupt the continuity of your weather stripping. Imagine in your mind's eye where you have an exit device. You have your weather stripping. Well, that, if it's a rim device, your strike's going to be mounted onto the stop in the same place where you need to mount this. What you can do is order one of those offset brackets so that the weather stripping can sneak behind the Z bracket. You mount your strike to the Z bracket. Obviously, special length screws would be important. And of course, adjusting the back set would be important in your exit device installation. So again, the continuity of weather stripping, the high performance, the adjustability of it, all goes together, which is why Zero offers that material. The example that they're showing there is in a door closer installation, same sort of concept. You don't want to interrupt the continuity of your weather stripping to get the mounting hardware attached to the frame, the header, or the jamb. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Zero products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have more than an occasional need for weather stripping, I urge you to familiarize yourself with the Zero catalog, because you will find in there unique solutions to weather stripping problems that only Zero offers, and that's just the bottom line. Any questions on the 870AA adjustable perimeter gasketing or any other Zero product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.